मग आवाज कशाला येत कनेक्शन लूज होत आहे का? ते करा ना बरोबर टाइम.
नाही की पॅन्टचं ते तिकडून लूज होते.
बरोबर करा ना असं कसं
बिघड पाहिजे का तुम्हाला?
हो मग
ते लूज USB तिकडून लूज होते.
ते तिकडे बसणार तर मग एवढ्या जवळ दोले खराब होणार.
वायर लांब नाही बघा, आता नाही बघा वायर आतमध्ये ओढणार
जातो पुढे लूज आहे बघा. मग एक लांब वायर घेऊन या नाही. लाईट पण सांगते लांब वायर पाहिजे. मोठी अल्पा लावली. And I said new wire now. Every time the same problem. All the time that
You can stand there.
huh? Maybe it becomes too close to the screen. It's a very big screen, no? Then they should give me an iPad or something, no, which I can use. Yes, it's gone. Normal PDF or no from I think that screen only from here only पूरा नहीं ओपन होता है इसका स्क्रीन होता तो अच्छा होता करोगे
मैप नहीं है
नहीं ना नेगेटिव
वैसे
वो ये बीएससी मैनेजमेंट ओके so you have to one thing do part by part reading starting with you as we go through the footnotes in the beginning na
As we drove through the footlights of Paris, two small boys stopped on the outskirts of the town. They were selling wild strawberries. Don't buy, don't Louis. Our cautions are courteous.
cautious drive cautious means मैं बीच में explain cautious means he was very careful extra careful that don't buy these from the road over here.
You will get fruit much better in Verona. Besides these boys, he shrugged his shoulder to convey his disapproval of their shabby appearance.
Besides these boys, he shrugged his shoulder means yes, ये लोग गंदे हैं या you know what these boys you want to buy it from. Yes, disapproval of their shabby appearance. So they didn't appear very clean. They appeared unhygienic. So he said, don't buy from them.
One boy was wearing a worn jersey and cut-off khaki pants. The other, a shortened army tunic gathered in loose folds above his skinny frame. Yet gazing at the two little figures with their brown skins, tangled hair and dark, earnest eyes, we felt ourselves strangely attracted. My companion spoke to the boys, discovered that they were brothers. Nicola the elder was 30, Jacopo, who barely came up to the door handle of the car, was nearly 12. We bought the biggest basket, then set off towards the town.
So underline these points. They were both brothers. Nicola underline, Nicola elder 13, Jacopo nearly 12. Okay, so there was a year's difference. One boy was wearing what? A torn jersey and cut off khaki pants, and the other a shortened army tunic gathered in loose folds about his skinny frame. So they were very thin and lanky boys. We bought their biggest basket and then set off towards the town. So they purchased strawberries from them and they moved towards the town. Then,
Next morning, coming out of our hotel, we saw our best friends bent over shoe shine boxes beside the fountain in the public square, doing our best business.
so where were they now? Our friends means
That's
these
all.
two boys. What were they doing?
Shoe shines.
Shoe shine.
We watched for a few moments, then as traded slang, we went over. They greeted us with friendly faces.
Trade slackened means
as it lets
as
people
business went down, the crowd reduced.
I thought you picked food for a living, I said. We do many things, sir. Nicola answered seriously. He glanced at us hopefully. Often we show visitors through the town, to Juliet's farm, and,
take too.
To Juliet's too.
and other places of interest. All right, I smiled. You take a seven.
So what did he say now? That I thought you only
Sorry.
sold fruits, but now I can see you selling shining shoes, and also then he says that we also do tours, right? We do many things, Nicola answered. He glanced at us hopefully. He's glancing at them hopefully. Why? आपको भी कुछ काम हो, you seem like a visitor. So we also do these historical tours. So he was hoping that even he would get some work from them so that they could earn.
As
Often
we,
we show visitors to the town, to Juliet's tomb and other places of his interest.
as we made the rounds, my interest was again provoked by their remarkable demeanor.
Demeanor is the appearance and behavior.
They were childish enough and in many ways quite heartless. Jacopo was as lively as a squirrel.
Lively is active. Squirrel is all the time moving about. So Jacopo was also very active.
Nicola's smile was steady and engaging. Yet in both these boyish faces, there was a seriousness which was far beyond their years. In the beam,
Seriousness far beyond their years
They were
means
more mature than we.
yes, they were more mature than they looked.
in the week which followed, we saw them frequently, for they proved extremely useful to us. If we want a pack of American cigarettes or seats for the opera or the name of a good restaurant, Nicola and Jacopo could be relied upon to satisfy our needs.
तो अभी ये लोग किस तरह में हेल्प करने लगे? Anything and everything, all small chores that they had, all small little work that they had, these two boys used to help them.
What struck one most was their willingness to work. During the summer days under the hot sun, they shined shoes, sold fruits, of newspaper, and conducted tourists around the town and ran errands.
Ran errands means did all sorts of small jobs, right? And what was most important was their willingness to work. कोई लोग होते हैं ना कि any work you get, like in my society there is this person. When I had shifted to that house maybe around 15 or so years back, there was this person, he was singly doing all the work. He used to clean cars and clean the building and all sorts of jobs. And he never refuses to do anything. Now he's got a whole team under him. And he's taken a monopoly of cleaning all the cars in the neighborhood. He himself doesn't do it now. अभी वो एकदम जैसे like he's reached a senior position. But his nature is also such कि कभी कुछ भी काम होएगा, he will never refuse. They are all willing to do it. So similar way, these people were all both very willing. They never refused. They were eager to do both. Why? What is the main reason? To earn money. They used all sorts of ways and means they tried for them to earn money. Okay. Then,
One night we came upon
okay,
them.
let her read now.
One night we came upon them in the windy and deserted square, resting on the stone pavement beneath the lights. Nicola sat upright, tired. A bundle of unsold newspaper lay at his feet. Jacob, his head resting upon his brother's shoulder, was asleep. It was nearly midnight. Why are you out so late, Nico? Waiting for the last bus from Fazio. We We shall sell all our papers when it comes in. Must you work so hard? You both look rather tired. We are not complaining, sir. The next morning, when I went over to the fountain to have the shoes shined, I said, Nicola, the way you and Jacopo go, you must earn quite a bit. You spend nothing on with clothes. You eat a little enough. When I see you have a meal, it's usually black bread and eggs. Tell me, what do you do with your money?
Okay, so what is he asking? अच्छा, ये क्या हुआ incident papers का? Where are they selling it? Yes, to the passengers probably who are coming by the bus. And what is the time here now? Midnight. It is midnight, so it's a very odd time for children to work. So what does the author ask him?
Why are you working so hard?
Yes, why are you working so hard? And secondly, what do you do with the money? Because from their appearance, ऐसे कुछ नहीं लग रहा था. They were dressed in rags, in old clothes. And even what they used to eat was simple food. What was that? Black bread and eggs. So that's supposed to be very, like इधर का suppose दाल चावल or whatever, some सीधा सादा खाना, right? So he says that he notices that they are not spending too much on food, neither is it reflecting in their dress. So what are you doing with all the money that you earn? Okay, then
He gathered deeply under the sun, then grew pale. He looked to the ground. You must be sailing up to emigrate to America, I suggested. He looked at me sideways, spoke with a laugh. We should greatly like to go to the United States. But here, at present, we have other plans. What plans? He smiled uncomfortably. Just plans, sir. He answered in low voice. Well, I said, we're leaving on Monday.
here.
We are leaving on Monday. Is there anything I can do for you before we go?
Okay, ये US का क्या बात हुआ? He's saying that maybe you're trying to say it so that you can move, you can shift to the US. So he said we would love to go there, but there is something else that is there in our lives. Okay. Then he says that we are going to go, and is there anything that we can do for you?
Nicola shook his head, but suddenly Jacopo said, so he burst out. Every Sunday, we make a visit to the country, to Polito, 30 kilometers from here. Usually we hire bicycles, but tomorrow, since you are so kind, you might send us in your car.
So where does he want? Do they want to go? Poleta. How often do they go?
Bicycles.
How often do they go? Every
Every
Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Once a week they go. And how do they go usually?
Bicycles.
By bicycle. And today he says, can you
Send us
take us in your car?
I had already told you he might have the Sunday. However, I answered, I'll drive you out myself. There was a pause. Nicola was glaring at his younger brother in vexation. We could,
Vexation means he was angry. Yes, annoyed.
we could not think of troubling you. It won't be any trouble. He bit his lip. Then, in a rather put down tone, he said, very well. The following afternoon, we drove to the tiny village set high above upon the hillside. I imagined that our destinations would be some humble dwellings.
Some humble dwelling means he thought that ये बच्चे गरीब है. So maybe they are going to some house. Dwelling is a living place, which will be very small and where poor people live.
But directed by Jacob, we drew up at a large red roof villa, surrounded by a high stone wall. I could scarcely believe
Scarcely believe. Scarcely means I could hardly believe my eyes.
And before I could recover my breath, my two passengers had leaped from the car
So why was he shocked?
because they expected something like a other small house,
Yes.
but it was a very huge
It was a huge villa. Large red roof villa surrounded by a high stone wall. Okay.
We shall not be long, sir.
Yes.
We shall not be long, sir. perhaps only an hour. Maybe you would like to go to the cafe in the village for a drink. They disappeared beyond the corner of the road. After a few minutes, I followed. I found a grilled side entrance and determinedly rang the bell. A pleasant-looking woman with steel-rimmed spectacles appeared. I blinked as I saw that she was wearing the white uniform of a trained nurse.
Okay, so how long were they going to take?
And,
An hour, approximately an hour. So then he says that you could go, you don't need to wait, so you could go to the cafe in the village for a drink and then come back later. And who is seen later? This pleasant looking woman with steel rimmed spectacles. Steel rimmed means उसका जो frame रहेगा that was of steel. The thin. In this she doesn't seem to be wearing a spectacle, but anyway, that's what we are talking about. Huh? So she was appeared like a trained nurse. Okay. I brought
two small boys here. Ah, yes. Her face lit up. She opened the door to admit me. Nicola and Jacopo, I will take you up. She led me through a cool tiled vestibule into the hospital.
vestibule
Lobby.
lobby.
For hospital, the villa had become. At the door of a little cubicle, the nurse paused, put her finger to her lips, and with a smile bade me to look through the glass partition.
Okay. She led me through a cool tiled vestibule. Vestibule is a lobby area into the hospital. Now from outside it looked like a villa, that is like a residence. But here it was a
Hospital.
yes. For hospital the villa had become means the villa had been converted to a hospital. At the door of a little cubicle. Cubicle is what? Like a cabin, a small cabin. At the door of a little cubicle, the nurse paused, put her finger to her lips. So, what is she saying? Don't make noise. And with a smile, bade me to look through the glass partition. Like how very often it is in an ICU, where you only can see through the glass window, little space there. You're not supposed to go in. If you go also, you're supposed to be quiet. So she tells them with her actions to be quiet and to look through the glass partition.
The two boys were seated at the bedside of a girl who was 20, who propped up on the pillows, wearing a pretty lace jacket, was listening to their chat. Her eyes soft and tender. One could see at a glance her resemblance to her brothers. A vase of wild flowers stood on her table, beside a dish of fruit and several books.
So who was there? Where were the boys seated?
Besides the girl.
Besides the girl. How was the girl? How old was the girl? 20. What position was she sitting in? Propped up on the pillow, which means otherwise she might be lying down. Now that her brothers had come, she was sitting with leaning on the pillow, wearing what? A pretty lace jacket, was listening to their chatter. Chatter means they're talking. Her eyes were soft and tender. One could see at a glance her resemblance to her brothers. So देख के ही उसको समझा कि ये लोग तीनों ही siblings हैं. A vase of wildflowers stood on her table beside a dish of fruit and several books. So flowers, fruits, and some books were kept over there.
Won't you go in? The nurse murmured. Lucia will be pleased to see you. I shook my head and turned away. I felt I could not bear to intrude upon this happy family party. But at the foot of the staircase, I drew up and begged her to tell me all she knew about these
तो
girls.
अभी क्या हुआ? What is the girl's name? Lucia. She says that Lucia will be pleased to see you, and she wants him to go inside to see her. But did he go there?
No.
He doesn't go there. Why he doesn't go? I couldn't Yes, I don't want to intrude, I don't want to interfere. These people seem to be so happy, so I don't want to be intruding into their happy conversation. Maybe they might be having some personal talks, personal chats about whatever. So he says, I don't want to go there. But he wanted to know more about her. Okay, all she knew about these boys. So what do you know about them? Why do they come here? And he was inquisitive to know.
She was eager to do so. They were, she explained, quite alone in the world, except for their sister Lucia. Their father, a widower, a well-known singer, had been killed in the early part of the war. Shortly afterwards, a bomb had destroyed their home and thrown the three children into the streets. They had always known a comfortable and cultural life. Lucia had herself been training as a singer, and they had suffered horribly from near starvation and exposure to the cold winter.
तो क्या हुआ था? She was eager to do so. She was eager to tell. They were, she explained, quite alone in the world. Who were alone in the world? Yes. Except for this sister, Lucia. Their father, a widower. Widower कौन रहता है?
जिसका divorce
नहीं, widower वो होता है जिसकी वाइफ मर चुकी है. Widow वो होती है जिसका हस्बैंड मर चुका हो, and widower is the man whose wife is no more. So their father, a widower, a well-known singer, which means they must have been very well off at that time. He was a well-known singer, तो अच्छे से कमाता भी होगा. Had been killed in the early part of the war. So the father, they had no mother. The father had been killed in the war. Shortly afterwards, a bomb had destroyed their home and thrown the three children into the streets. So now they are orphans, na mother hai, na father hai, and their house has got destroyed and there is war. And these three small children alone. They had always known a comfortable and cultured life. Comfortable and cultured means that they were well-to-do. Lucia had herself been training as a singer. Her father was also a singer and she was also taking training to be a singer in future. And they had suffered horribly from near starvation and exposure to the cold winter. क्योंकि घर भी नहीं था तो कहाँ वो लोग रहेंगे? So cold winter and no food to eat, no money at all. So they were without food and without shelter, without any money. Next unit.
For months, they had barely kept themselves alive in a sort of shelter they built with their own hands amidst the rubble. Then, for 3 years, the Germans ruled the city. The boys grew to hate the Germans. When the resistance movement began secretly to form, they were among the first to join. When the war was over and we had peace at last, they came back to their beloved sister and they found her suffering from tuberculosis of the spine.
तो अब क्या हुआ? For months they had barely kept themselves alive. Means they could just manage to keep themselves alive in a sort of shelter they built with their own hands amidst the rubble. Rubble means जो वो लोग का घर destroy हो गया था उसका जो टूटा फूटा parts है. Okay, so maybe there must have been some parts जो अच्छे रह चुके होंगे या some parts that maybe some tin shed or something जो गिर के वहाँ वैसे ही पड़ा रहा होगा. So they joined, they took all those things and they made a small shelter in that area only. घर तो पूरा टूट गया, but they built with their own hands a small shelter, a sort of shelter. Then for 3 years the Germans ruled the city. The boys grew to hate the Germans. Why? Because they had destroyed. जैसे India और British का था, right? The Britishers totally destroyed the Indian system, right? And in the war also, because of the partition, there were many people who were homeless. Like my parents are originally from Pakistan. In 1947, when the partition took place, India and Pakistan, that time they left everything and they came to India along with their parents. My parents must have been maybe 9, 10 years old at that time. My father is now 81. Huh? So everything was destroyed. No means whatever house they must have had over there, या कुछ land रहा होगा, या कुछ businesses रहे होंगे, सब कुछ destroy हो गया. And then they had to start from scratch. So are they going to be happy about such things? They won't. So ये भी छोटे बच्चों का life पूरा destroy हो गया था because of the war. So that's why they hated, they grew to hate the Germans. When the resistance movement began, they began secretly to form. They were among the first to join. Resistance movement means resistance against the British, war against the British something. So these people were uniting together to fight against the Germans. So when that resistance movement began, they were the first to join. When the war was over and he had peace at last, they came back to their beloved sister. And what did they found? She was suffering from tuberculosis of the spine. So spine is such an important part of our body, no? So that's why she was not able to walk. She was totally handicapped. Okay, then
She paused, took a quick breath. Did they give up? I do not have to answer that question. They brought her here, persuaded us to take her into the hospital. In the 12 months she had been our patient, she has made good progress. There is every hope that one day she will walk and sing again. Of course, everything is so difficult now. Food is scarce, and here we could we could not keep going unless we charge a fee. But every week, Lucia's brothers have made their payment. She added simply. I don't know what they do. I do not ask. Work is scarce in Verona, but whatever it is, I know they do it well.
तो वो क्या बोलती है that because they needed to help, they came to us. They didn't give up on their sister, and also we also need to take some money. Why? Because food is so scarce. Scarce means less. What is less is more expensive. So she says कि हमारे भी खर्चे होते हैं. We can't do anything free of cost. So they must be charging some nominal rate for them from them to take care of their sister. And she's saying that every week these people also make payments to me. Now I don't know what they are doing. And also another point, she's saying that work is very scarce. So understood, that is why these kids must have been trying different types of things so that they can earn. एक ही चीज पे rely करेंगे तो उससे enough कमा नहीं पाएंगे. So she says that work is also scarce, but whatever it is, I know they do it well. Why? Because she's been getting the payments on a regular basis. So how responsible these children were.
Yes, I agree. They couldn't do it better. I waited outside until the boys rejoined me, then drove them back to the city. They sat beside me, not speaking. For my part, I did not say a word. I knew they would prefer to feel that they had safely kept their secret. Yet their devotion had touched me deeply. War had not broken their spirit. Their selfless action brought a new nobility to human life, gave promise of a greater hope for human society.
So why didn't he discuss it with them?
They wanted to get secret.
Yeah, why?
They may feel uncomfortable with people.
Yes, they may not, like sometimes it happens कोई भी हमारा कोई weakness होएगा or something that is not so good, we don't want to tell people about it. So that's why he didn't want them to feel uncomfortable and did not talk about it, did not discuss. So that's why the gentlemen, why gentlemen?
They were so mature at this.
Yes, they were so mature. Responsible. So that's how gentlemen are, mature and responsible people. And these two were kids, but then they were just like gentlemen. They had matured because of the sufferings that they had seen in life. Nice story, no? Any doubts? No. I'll give you some questions to write. Huh? Take out your notebook. The questions with you.
आंसर है
क्या हो गया? पेंडिंग हो गया? क्यों? पाउच की तरह?
पेन पेंसिल स्केल
तू अभी तेरे दोस्तों से अलग हो गया? तेरे दोस्त? What?
You could give the answers of this.
I didn't know.
Answer in detail. Ma'am is the answers in detail.
Yeah.
They were the comments. The other any views the answers. But the after what were the few?
मैम देती आंसर्स।
हाँ
तू भी देखना है ना? स्टोरी समझ नहीं आया ना तुम लोग को? तो फिर
नाम उनके बहुत नाटक होता है आपको नहीं पता। लेकिन गए बार उन्होंने बोला ये सब पॉइंट्स कवर कर। पॉइंट्स कवर किया तो ऑफ कोर्स वर्ड लेवल के ऊपर जाते थे कि 8-9 पॉइंट्स और आप बोल रहे 30-40 लाइंस में इसको कवर कर दो
वर्ड्स में।
वर्ड्स कैसे पॉसिबल है? आप 8-9 पॉइंट्स दे रहे हो उसे एलॉबरेट करके फिर लिखने बोल
थोड़ा तो लगेगा। हाँ।
वर्ड लिमिट एक्सीड हुआ तो मैं मार्क्स काट दूंगी और वर्ड लिमिट में लिखा तो मैं बोलती ये पॉइंट कवर नहीं किया। अब ऐसे कैसे मतलब आप पॉइंट भी कवर करो वर्ड लिमिट अंदर भी लिखो ये कहाँ से पॉसिबल है?
डिफिकल्ट।
आप तक होता है बाकी कुछ
ये क्या न्यू टीचर है ये?
न्यू नहीं है
साल
सबसे पुरानी टीचर है
सारे आएगा सब
इंग्लिश में ऐसा लॉज
और ऐसी
हाँ
ऐसा करती है
हाँ
मार्क्स कितने काटती
तो बोर्ड्स में नहीं होगा सो
है बोर्ड्स में नहीं सकते कि और नॉर्मल इसमें तो बोला
वो
नॉर्मल
है
स्टार्टिंग
Normally now,
घर पे आप
वो doesn't matter.
normally you should let it थोड़ा बहुत वो कंट्रोल करती
घर पे आके पेपर काटती है अब सुना इंग्लिश गाने क्या होता है तुम्हारा आवाज से यही खराब होता है वही खराब होता है मेरे को ही सुनना पड़ता है उन्हें क्या इसे भड़ास निकाल के वापस कुछ नहीं सही होगा फिर भी वहाँ पे कलर डाल
है। Then you should tell you maybe the exact answer. What we should write. What is the ideal that she expects.
तुम क्या करोगे सब में ही
वही तो
मतलब सब तरफ से।
अब उन्होंने इसके आंसर्स नहीं दिए जो दूसरे क्लासेस में दे रहे थे और वही क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे तो क्या लिखेंगे ये दिए ही नहीं है
तुम लोग अपना you have understood the story अच्छे से समझ गए हैं। You should continually write your homework. Then थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर रह या cutting. Let it be. It happens sometimes. It happens with CBSE. It happens with ICSE also. There are certain things जहाँ पे if you write perfectly, like ICSE has notice and reading. उसमें कैसे 5 marks का आता है? उसमें अगर perfectly लिखो तो you can get full 5 marks over there. But some teachers cut. 5 का 4.5 दे देंगे, 4 दे देंगे, just like that. We can't be full, but you can. In essays you can't. तुम लोग essays नहीं है, ICSE है, but some cut. So then that you have to let go. Other एक बार you have to keep the board in mind. बस वो perspective से तुम लोग आगे करो, सब हो जाएगा. Okay. This is nice. See, I'll read the question. You all can write it then. You are a nurse at the hospital. You are happy that you could share everything about the boys with the narrator. Write a diary entry about meeting the narrator and what you shared with him. अब डायरी एंट्री में स्टार्ट कैसे करोगे?
डेट टाइम
हाँ, डेट टाइम and then start the dear diary. So basically you have to write about these two boys, what challenges they faced. You want me to dictate the question to you or what? Huh? Varun? Okay. You are the nurse at the hospital. Full stop. You are happy. You are happy that you could share everything about the boys with the narrator. Full stop. Write a diary entry about meeting the narrator and what you shared with him. So how will you write it? You already met the narrator and then you are writing a diary entry. So I met this person, he had got the two boys along. He was very concerned about the girl, about Lucia, and about what was happening. He had no clue. So I shared this information, whatever, not this information in the sense, information regarding Lucia. Then you can write about Lucia's father, what had happened to them, and how the two brothers had supported her. वो सब लिखना that I told him all this. Hmm? How many words you are writing? Write around 100 to 120. उतना ठीक है 5 marks के लिए. Hmm? Read. क्या मतलब क्या है? लीजिएगा और टीचर को नहीं बताएगा क्या लिखा है।
You read.
अच्छा, you don't want it to be read aloud? क्यों इतना बुरा है क्या? हाँ?
Imagination में तो होता है.
What? क्या?
Read it aloud.
मैं
No,
जोर से पढ़ूं?
no, no,
Read it out
no, no,
loud.
no,
You can do that.
no,
Come on.
हाँ.
no.
नहीं ना, गलत है. Who are you to tell no?
Why you to tell no? Correct?
तू कौन है? तुझे लिखा तो बाप.
Okay, we'll read at the end. Let them read. उसके बाद लास्ट में पढ़ेंगे. कुछ गलत होगा तो मैं उधर ही रेक्टिफाई करके पढ़ लूँ.
मेरे को तो पढ़.
हाँ?
मेरे को तो वापस ये करना तो.
तू देगा नहीं वापस.
वापस नहीं देगा.
वही देगा बोल रहे थे. अभी और इम्प्रोवाइज करेगा लगता है. See, I'll show you something. This is the 10th standard English book of this Tamil Nadu State Board. ये इधर ये लिख रहा है. एक मिनट ये पोयम जूम नाउ नहीं सॉरी ये लिख रहा है पोयम आई एम एवरी वुमन. छोटा लिखती हूँ. अरे छोटा is taking ages of it. See this. You can see this poem? Huh? This is mine. I have written it. This I have written and see this name. This is mine. It is published in the Tamil Nadu State Board 10th Standard English. This took place some 2-3 years back. Since then, that same movie is being released. about women and how strong women are, what sacrifices they undertake.
सुनो आपके लिए
समझ रहे हैं क्या? पढ़
नहीं, हम लड़कों को अभी ज्यादा पता होना चाहिए अभी
वही वो लोग रियलाइज नहीं करते कि कितना सैक्रिफाइसेस उनके मदर्स या ग्रैंड मदर्स या सिस्टर्स कोई भी अंडरटेक करते हैं।
और हर चीज में तू लड़की है तो ये नहीं कर सकती,
वही
भाई सब कुछ कर सकते हो, समझाया?
वो क्यों बोल रही?
क्योंकि तू ऐसा है।
और ये लाइन है, she is a lioness,
Don't mess
don't
with
mess with her, she'll not spare you if you are a prankster. Don't ever try to sow her pride, self-respect. She knows how to saw you, so beware.
उनका भी
क्या ही लिखोगे क्या ही लिखोगे तुम्हारे पीछे लड़की का ही हाथ है, वही था ना कि कुछ उठ के कुछ नहीं कर सकते। बैठे मम्मी चाय ला के दो, तब मम्मी चाय लेके आई।
ऐसा
चाइनीज था।
ये ना ब्रदर सिस्टर्स हो गए नहीं
उसके साथ
फ्रेंड्स है।
तो देखो पता है
एक
ये
स्टैंडर्ड से एक साथ है।
हाँ
एक स्टैंडर्ड से एक साथ।
अच्छा तो ये घर पे ऐसे महाराजा जैसे
नहीं उसको नहीं पता कुछ भी। तेरे को पता है घर पे कैसा।
अरे तू मम्मी को चाय पिला के देता है, चाय बना के पिलाता है।
अरे मैं बहुत कुछ बनाता
बस अपने लिए बना।
नहीं मेहमान आने तब भी बनाता।
तो मेहमान
आते तब बनाता है, तब भी तो मम्मी बनाती होगी। मम्मी क्या करती थी? तो मम्मी क्या करती है तभी?
मम्मी को बोलता हूँ किचन में है, पापा बाहर।
कभी बनाया लास्ट? मैं पूछूंगी मम्मी
ये
क्या बनाया था?
जब अरे वो तो बाहर वालों को बनाता, बाहर वाले को बनाता।
अरे घर पे बनाता हूँ जब कुछ मम्मी का बर्थडे।
मम्मी के लिए क्या बनाता है?
बर्थडे के दिन मैंने पिज्जा बनाया था।
मम्मी के बर्थडे
हाँ
क्या
पिज्जा बनाया था।
तो साल में एक दिन आता है।
अरे तो मेहमान के दिन भी बनाता हूँ।
मेहमान भी कितने आते हैं? हर मेहमान आएगा तो तू बनाएगा?
नहीं जो मेरे पास
साल में एक दिन मम्मी तेरे लिए करती है क्या? मम्मी तेरे लिए डेली करती है ना।
हाँ तो मैं कुछ नहीं बोलता, मैं सिर्फ बोल रहा मैं करता हूँ।
कितना करता है? कम करता है ना।
ठीक है भाई कम
बस
करता
खाना
हूँ।
बनाता है क्या तू?
अच्छा मम्मी बाहर से आती है पानी ऑफर करती है
हाँ
डेली, मतलब हर बार whenever she comes. Sure.
मैं जूस कोकम बना के देता हूँ, पानी भी नहीं।
अच्छा really?
पूछ लो।
अच्छा then it's good. उत्तर तो भी करना है ना, that's also big.
ठीक बोला, पिज्जा बना था, आधे से ज्यादा खुद ही खा गया। मम्मी पता चला मम्मी से
देख रहा है कह रहा है looking at you.
अरे इनको ही पता होना चाहिए ये सब चीजें।
चलो रीड करोगे क्या आंसर्स? See, because she doesn't want to read, she'll keep writing more and more. You've written so much, enough. हो गया? हाँ? तो भी 120 के अंदर हो गया होगा।
बाहर हो गया होगा।
हाँ?
मेरा भी बाहर जा होगा। हर एक पॉइंट कवर करने के इसमें सब बाहर से
Like that even with me. I used to write some articles and all for this video in our register. वहाँ पे always it was supposed to be in lesser words. मेरा हमेशा my language was always very flary and very flowery. ए चल पढ़, तू start कर।
Last time
You start.
मैं पहला क्वेश्चन
देखो लोग सब
ठीक है पढ़ता हूँ मैं। क्या? आप
हाँ
पढ़ना
Today, one man came with the two boys who were the brothers of Lucia. These boys every Sunday came and made payment for the sister's treatment. But today, one man also came with them. First, I thought that he was the family member, but he was not. He was so much curious to know that what is going on here. What are the sufferings of these boys? He was very kind and caring towards them. He requested me to tell their backstory, so I told everything I know about them. Um, the man was attentively listening to what I was telling to him. I started with the father. Their father was a widow and a sinner. He was killed in the war. And on that, the house was bombed, which made these three to come on the streets. The boys worked so hard to earn money, but then the Germans rules came. Giacomo and Nicola hated them. They were the first to join the Union of revolt against the Germans. At last, when the Verona had peace, they came back and saw that their sister was suffering from a tuberculosis of the stomach. The food was scarce, the work was too. But then they worked hard to earn money and uh, give better treatment to their sister. Uh, the man was very caring towards them. He could not speak anything about what I told. He just accepted the truth and went back with them. So I hope that these boys would get a success in their life and live a happy life.
Oh, good. अच्छा तो लिखा है. No? Good. You feel?
Maybe. But
Serenity.
मेरे को चलेगा तेरे जैसे नहीं है I was waiting for Nicola and Jacob. I was waiting for Nicola and Jacopo as it was Sunday. They came to meet their sister every Sunday. But today a car stopped in front of the hospital and both Nicola and Jacopo leaped out and ran towards their sister. I saw a young man stepping out of the car as he followed those siblings. He was looking curious and worried about Lucy. I asked him if he wanted to join the siblings. He denied, but asked me to share everything I know about these siblings. I told him that Nicola and Jacobo had only Lucia after their father was killed in the early part of the war. The house was destroyed due to a bomb blast, due to which they were thrown in the streets. They were doing well, but now had to suffer due to the starvation and cold winter. After the Germans started ruling the city, boys grew to hate them. They joined the resistance movement before anyone else could. After attaining peace at last, they returned to their sister, only to find that she was suffering from tuberculosis. They brought
Of the
her
spine.
of this. They brought her here and persuaded us to keep her in the hospital. But since food is scarce, we had to charge scarce. We had to charge the fee. But every week, brothers have made their payment. That man looked amused and overwhelmed with their loss. I was so happy that I could narrate their loss. I think it's time for me to say good night.
Good. You can sleep now.
एक पॉइंट मैंने नहीं लिखा तुम लेना
क्या?
कि उन लोग वो ट्रीटमेंट में थी
Add it. Sorry. ठीक है till then you read. ये सबका सुन के एक पॉइंट अपना ऐड करेंगे. हाँ.
Today a man had come with Nicola and Jacopo, and they come inside, and the man asked me that why had these two boys had come in this hospital? What is the matter? I when I had taken Nicola and Jacopo to their sister's home, I told that man that during the war, their father was killed in the war, and their house was destroyed. Their sister Lucia wants to become a singer like her father, but she was suffering from a disease of tuberculosis of spine.
She wanted to.
She wanted to become a singer like her father, but she was suffering from tuberculosis of spine. And Nicola and Jacopo had came here in this hospital, had come in this hospital and admitted her. every week they had given the fees, and on every Sunday they come here to meet her sister. I told
Every
them to meet
every what Saturday?
Sunday.
I told the man that he shall go inside the room, but he
He
said
shall go nahi, he can go.
he can go inside, but he said that he don't want to go, and
He didn't want
he didn't want to go, and waited until Nicola and Jacopo came out of the room.
आगे that much only. End थोड़ा abrupt लग रहा है. So give it a nice smooth end. How can you do that?
They both came out and sat in the car as he accompanied them back to the city.
And you can even say that the man was overwhelmed by the sad plight of these children and how brave, strong, and independent they were. Yes. And then you can add that they went back to the car and their business. Sure.
I was working in a hospital like all other days, but today I noticed a new visitor. A man came into the hospital with the two small boys, Nicola and Jacopo. As soon as the boys entered, they went to see Lucia, the sister Lucia. I asked the man if he wants to go in,
Wanted to.
he wanted to go in when Lucia was, but he did not, and also didn't want to interfere the happy family. Instead, he pleaded me to tell all I knew about these boys. I told him about their history before coming to the hospital. Their father, a widower, well-known singer, had been killed in the early part of the war with the Germans. Shortly after, a bomb had destroyed their home, which had thrown them into the streets. They had suffered horribly from near-starvation exposure to the cold weather. For months, they had barely kept themselves alive in a sort of shelter they built with their own hand amidst the rubble. As the Germans ruled the city for 3 years, the boys grew to hate them. When the resistance movement began secretly to form, they were among the first to join. When the war was over, they came back to the sister and found that she was suffering from tuberculosis of spine. This had been a tragic memory for them. I could never care less for them. They
I
had
could never.
care less for them. They had also been making payment for treatment. तो बाकी का रेट मेरा आवाज है
क्यों?
बट दे वर
तेरा ही है, तेरे ही रीड करने को आवाज नहीं हो रहा है.
वहाँ वो बहुत बार बहुत टाइम के लिए रुकना ऐसा
क्या कर सकते हैं?
but they were working hard and I know they
कितना देर के लिए किए जो आवाज बीत जा रहे हैं फिर किधर डूब रहे हैं आवाज में.
drove the two boys back into the city. I hope those two boys will have a good future.
Okay. Good. Some part you will have copied from the textbook. अभी सामने था वही बीच का अपना लिखा है फिर थोड़ा ये लिखा अपना. Now you have had the benefit of the textbook, but otherwise, हाँ? तू क्या बोला? हाँ. इसने इतना नहीं, boys ने इतना नहीं लिखा, girls ने that middle part you have written, but then that's okay. अपना लिखोगे तो भी खुद से I hope लिख पाओगे. You have understood the story.
Mama words होती
Words?
भूल रही मेरे को वर्ड्स ही नहीं मिलते इसके साथ प्रैक्टिस में होगा सर और गलत वर्ड डाल देते समय उनका ताना सुनना पड़ेगा.
She is very terrified by her teacher.
जो टीचर है ना, लाइफ में उसने एक भी स्टूडेंट को फुल मार्क्स नहीं दिया. आउट ऑफ मार्क्स नहीं.
मोस्ट प्रोबेबली लैंग्वेज में नहीं एक तो मार्क्स से रिलीज है उसका हमको कुछ करना पड़ता है. उससे मैंने से अच्छा मैं किधर दूसरी जगह से अच्छा
वो नहीं आई है।
फ्रेंडली टैक्सी
अच्छा चलो frog and the nightingale.
and now she prevents us from cyber. She is like, don't use this, don't use that. This will lead to cyber something crime.
Don't use what?
Instagram or what
Social media.
Social
She's
media.
older one.
She's
How
must
old
be
is
of
she?
your age.
Huh?
No, more than that, 70 something.
Huh?
Again,
कुछ भी
60s में है वो.
50s.
अभी 60s में है वो.
मैम
I am 50.
हाँ तो आपसे बड़ी
हाँ बड़ी.
उसके पास कुछ के
60.
पास Instagram
सर्च कर लो इधर
And now
ज्ञानदा
she, literally it will come. What?
ज्ञानदा
Jnana
मास्टर
Master.
Yeah.
ज्ञानदा मास्टर
Master.
डी
BNY AND.
D. M.
Yes.
This lady.
This lady.
वो तो खुद भी तो इंस्टा पे है बट
है अरे मैम शी इज बाइकर
what?
शी इज अ बाइकर
She's a what? Biker.
Biker. She
But then she herself is on YouTube and Insta and she's telling you all how to.
इंस्टा खोल के
तुम लोग बोलते नहीं हो उसको ये तो सब
इन्होंने
पता
बोला
है।
तो भी तो बोलेंगे.
अच्छा, she has got some English this on her new YouTube videos.
Yes. But she is a manipulator. First.
Insta also public profile.
हाँ हमारे लिए रखा है आपने बोला आप
नाम का हमारे लिए जो रील्स वायरल करने हैं उसको पब्लिक में जाना चाहिए कुछ अटेंशन
This one.
Yes.
2024 birthday. This one. Short hair.
हाँ.
हाँ
You.
Yes.
शॉर्ट हेयर
Short hair. Very short hair. इसकी जैसे बात. Ma'am, she's a manipulator. She just forces us to remember. She is always like in every lecture. मेरी बात ध्यान से सुन लो. तुम में से कोई भी मुझे जिंदगी भर नहीं भूलेगा.
बोलने का हम तो भूल ही नहीं पा रहे हैं आपको. Okay, चलो. The frog and the nightingale. Once upon a time, a frog croaked away in Dingle Bog. Bog,
माशी
marshy area. Every night from dusk to dawn, he croaked on and on and on. On
मिसप्रोनाउंस.
इसमें क्या है?
यूजिंग रॉन्ग
Yes, that is
डॉन का wrong.
poetic license करके एक रहता है. Where poets can change the word. So he croaked on and on and on वैसा. The other creatures loathed his voice. Loathed, hated. They hated his voice. But alas, they had no choice because he used to keep croaking and croaking and croaking. And the crass cacophony,
Unpleasant noise.
yes, loud, unpleasant sound, blared out from the sumac tree, at whose foot the frog each night minstrelled.
Sound.
He continued singing on and on till morning, night. So the entire day and night he used to keep croaking and croaking and croaking. Neither stones nor prayers nor sticks, insults or complaints or bricks stilled the frog's determination. Stilled means it didn't put a stop to it. Nothing could put a control to his determination to sing. Okay? To display his heart's elation. Elation?
Great pride. Joy.
Joy, happiness, excitement. So there's nothing that stopped him from expressing and doing what he loved. He may have been bad at it, but he liked doing it and he went on and on with it. But one night, a nightingale, in the moonlight, cold and pale, perched upon the sumac tree. Perch means sat. So there is a nightingale that sat on the sumac tree, casting forth a melody, dumbstruck, sat at the gaping frog. Sat the gaping frog. Dumbstruck,
Shock.
shocked. Yes. So he was shocked. Gaping is what? ऐसा
Couldn't say anything.
ऐसा हम लोग नहीं, हम लोग
Shock.
शॉक होके अपना मुंह खुला रहता है ना, gaping. That's gaping. So he was shocked listening to her voice. And the whole admiring bird stared towards the sumac, rapt,
Interested.
yes, rapt in attention. Okay, so they were interested and they were with attention listening. And when she had ended, clapped. So when she had ended what?
Singing.
Her singing, they clapped. Ducks had swum and herons waded. Herons क्या होते हैं?
Water.
Yes, like cranes with long legs. Those are herons. So waded to her as she waded is
Walking.
yes, walking along in the water. To her as she serenaded. Serenaded?
Sang beautifully.
Sang beautifully. So they all praised her and they all appreciated and liked it. And a solitary loon,
Water bird.
water bird, and a solitary means?
Alone.
Yes, okay, alone. Wept beneath the summer moon, toads and teals, small ducks, toads and teals and fiddlers captured by her voice, cheered on, enraptured. Enraptured?
Fascination.
Yes, they were fascinated, they were very enthralled with her voice. Bravo, too divine, encore. Encore?
Singing something. Once more.
Yes, once more. So they were all very happy and they praised it, they were liking her voice. So the nightingale once more, quite unused to such applause. Unused means
Was
She was not used.
Not
used
used
to
to
it.
Huh. to such praises. Sang till dawn without a pause. So continuously the bird also sang without stopping, non-stop. Next night, when the nightingale shook her head and twitched her tail, closed an eye and fluffed a wing, and had cleared her throat to sing, means now the nightingale is preparing to sing. She was startled by a crow. Startled? Huh? No, startled is she was surprised. She was shocked because there was somebody interrupting. She was startled by a crow. By a crow. Sorry, was that you who spoke? She inquired when the frog hopped towards her from the worm. So when she was just about to sing, then she heard the croak of the frog. And she said, was that you who spoke? Yes, the frog replied. You see, I am the frog who owns this tree. In this bog, I've long been known for my splendid baritone. Baritone?
Very deep voice.
Deep voice. So means he's saying, who are you? I am the king of this place and my voice is praised by many people. I am very well known for my voice, for my baritone. And of course, I wield my pen for bog trumpet now and then. Means there is this bog trumpet, some
Magazine.
huh?
Magazine.
Is this a magazine or some function type? Because it's a voice that he is talking about, no?
I
Wield my pen. Wield my pen is I'm writing. I write something. For Bob trumpet now and then. Did you like my song? Means he writes and he sings. Did you like my song? Not too bad, but far too long. The technique was fine, of course. Technique? Method of singing. The technique was fine, of course, but it lacked a certain force. Huh? Oh, the nightingale confessed, greatly flattered and impressed, that a critic of such note had discussed her art and throat. So now what had happened? This frog who was not too good at singing, was praising himself. There are some people who उतना great होते नहीं है मगर दिखाते हैं कि हम बहुत great हैं. So he was like that. He wasn't good at singing, but he showed that he is, and he started advising the nightingale. And on the other hand, even the nightingale was not so confident. होता है ना, हम खुद ही confident नहीं रहेंगे, तो people are there to subdue us, to push us down. Okay, so that nightingale did not lack the confidence, and the frog, on the other hand, was overconfident of himself. So he started advising. Now, who was actually better? Of course, the nightingale. The nightingale only sings better. The frog just croaks, whereas the nightingale has a very melodious voice. Okay, so I don't think the song's divine, but oh well, at least it's mine. That's not much to boast about. Boast?
Be proud of.
Yes, be proud of. Talk great about. Said the heartless frog. Without proper training, such as I and few others can supply, you'll remain a mere beginner, but with me, you'll be a winner. So what is the frog saying now? You need to take training. And if you take training from me, you will be a winner. Dearest frog, here these are the other animals. This is a porcupine, hedgehog. I don't know what's the difference between hedgehog and porcupine. Porcupine has those things, no, the spikes. Hedgehog also has what's the difference? Anyway, so without proper but with me you'll be a winner. Dearest frog, the nightingale breed. This is a fairy tale, and you are Mozart in disguise. Who's Mozart?
Popular song.
Yes, he used to play instruments, and he was like a very how Picasso is to painting, like that Mozart is to music. And your Mozart in disguise, come to earth before my eyes. So she is like praising him that you are Mozart, come down to earth, so I will be pleased. Well, I charge a modest fee. Oh, but it won't hurt, you'll see. So what is he saying? I charge a little bit, I don't charge a very high fee, I charge a fee, but it won't harm you. Okay? You're going to gain at the end of it. Now, the nightingales inspire, flushed with confidence and fire. Flushed?
Excited.
Very excited.
Yes, full of with confidence and fire, with both art and adoration. Adoration is like an admiration or liking for somebody or something. with both art and adoration, sang and was a huge sensation. Who was a sensation now? The nightingale inspired by the frog. Animals for miles around flocked towards the magic sound, and the frog, with great precision, counted heads and charged admission. वैसा कौन बता रहा था? Frog. Though next morning it was raining, he began her vocal training. But I can't sing in this weather. Who says this?
Nightingale.
The nightingale. Come, my dear, we'll sing together. Who says this? The frog. Just put on your scarf and sash. What is a sash?
A long piece of fur.
हाँ, normally हाँ वो वैसे वाला पहनते हैं ना normally
हाँ,
जो Miss World birthday type हो. So just put on your scarf and sash. Hoo-ah, hoo-ash, hoo-ash. So the frog and nightingale journeyed up and down the scale. Scale is scale of
Musical notes.
yes, scale of the music, high and low. For 6 hours. So now see, she didn't want to do it, but still he kind of forced her. For 6 hours, till she was shivering, and her voice was hoarse. Hoarse means
Rough ending.
yes, rough and rough. Like when you have a
When you wake
cold.
up and
Haan, when you wake up in the morning, how your voice sounds. And quivering. Quivering is shaking.
Shaking.
Though subdued and sleep deprived, subdued,
what?
Little energy.
yes, she had very little energy because she had now almost fallen sick. Though subdued and sleep deprived, in the night her throat revived. Revived means
Restored.
yes, restored. It became fine again. And the sumac tree was born with a breathless, titled crowd. So title means all the great
People.
people, animals came.
Creatures.
Huh?
Great creatures.
Yes. Owl of Sandwich, Duck of Kent, Mallard and Millard Trent, Martin, Cardinal, Mephisto, and the Hoot of Monte Cristo. Ladies with tiaras. Tiaras? What do you wear? Head. Like a crown type. Ladies with tiaras glittering in the interval sat twittering, and the frog observed them glitter with a joy both sweet and bitter. So the frog was having a good time observing all this. Every day, the frog who sold her song,
Just sold.
who sold her. Every day, the frog who sold her songs, sold because here they wanted to rhyme with scold, na? That's why. Songs for silver tried to scold her, so he tried to dominate her now. You must practice even longer till your voice, like mine, grows stronger. But the intention was nothing like that. The intention was just to use and make money. In the second song last night, you got nervous mid-flight. Mid-flight here means what? Yes, in the middle of the song, you became nervous suddenly. And my dear, lay more on trills. Trills are, see,
One after one. Repeatedly and very quickly.
what?
Very quickly.
Repeatedly and very
Repeated and quick. And my dear, lay more on trills. So you need to be repeated and quick. So don't stop in between. So he said that you faltered at that time. Now you should not falter. audiences enjoy such thrills. You must make your public happier. Give them something sharper, snappier. Give them something that's more energetic, more interesting. We must aim for better billings. So better billings, you still owe me 60 shillings. You still have to give me money. अब तुम्हारा तो वो है, तो भी उसको वैसा फील करवा रहा है कि you have to give me, so that she feels more obliged. Day by day, the nightingale. See why all this happens? Because of lack of confidence. That somebody else is able to, somebody else who's not equally good enough also is able to dominate it. So that happens with people also. That's a learning from this poem. Day by day, the nightingale grew more sorrowful and pale. Pale means dull. Night on night, her tired song zipped. Zipped? What is written for zipped?
Sang quickly.
Sang quickly. Night on night, her tired song zipped and trilled and bounced along. Till the birds and bees grew tired, because now it became very common for them, and her voice also lost the charm that it had earlier. Grew tired at a voice so uninspired. And the ticket office gross crashed. Ticket office gross crashed means the money that they used to get came down. And she grew more morose. Morose?
Miserable.
Miserable. Then, for her ears were now addicted to applause quite unrestricted. Means, why did she grow sad? Because now she had got used to listening to those praises. Like all these great actors and actresses also, they'll see success in their films, but all are not successful. जो failure होता है, then they are doubly affected emotionally by all those things. So it's like too high, then it takes you too low. So now she was at her lowest. For her ears were addicted to applause quite unrestricted, and to sing into the night all alone gave no delight. There was no audience only for her now, right? So her, you can say her career had taken a tragic turn, a slump. Now the frog puffed with rage, right? He didn't care about the nightingale, so he was angry. Rage means anger. Brainless bird, you're on the stage. Use your wits and follow fashion. Puff your lungs out with your passion. What is he saying now? You're on the stage. Okay? Use your brains. Puff your lungs. Means sing loudly. Okay? Sing with passion. ऐसे थोड़ी आएगा, वो naturally आना चाहिए ना. Like it used to come first to the bird. Trembling, terrified to fail, blind with tears, the nightingale heard him out in silence, tried, puffed up. Okay, so the bird puffed up, burst away, and died because the bird had become so exhausted now, right? And died. Said the frog, I tried to teach her, but she was a stupid creature, far too nervous, far too tense, far too prone to influence. So means she could not get used to it, and she was not good enough. अपना गलती तो भी वो नहीं मानता, उसको कुछ फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. Well, poor bird, she should have known that your song must be your own. Hmm? That's why I sing with panache. Panache,
Elegance.
what is it?
Elegance.
Elegance, confidence. That's why I sing with panache. Hooah, hooah, hooash, hooash. And the foghorn,
Very loud, unpleasant.
loud, unpleasant sound. And the foghorn of the frog blared unrivaled through the bog. Means,
He was again the one.
हाँ, he was again the leader because वो एक नाइटिंगेल जो आई थी कंपटीशन के लिए, उसको तो उसने हटा दिया, मार डाला, उसको खत्म कर दिया. So then he again got the position, and even when the nightingale was there, he only took advantage of it. Nice story, no? Nice poem. Vikram Seth. चलो अब क्या करना है? How much time? Time up? अरे चलो ठीक है. Next class, what are we going to do?
Mrs. Sacrifice.
Is that a big one, or we can combine something else along with it? Poem next कौन सा? Not marble, ये वाला.
It's a small one. It's just this.
हाँ. So then we can do Mrs. Speckletide and not marble nor the gilded monument. This is the second poem, right? Chalo.
Or ma'am, should we do the drama?
Which drama? Let's go in order now. Because in school also mostly
School
Now
वाले
they take the drama.
fiction drama और मतलब poem
अच्छा.
drama.
कौन सा drama?
Julius Julius भी चलेगा.
But which one will you have?
वो नहीं पता.
वो नहीं पता होता है.
नहीं पता. फिर हम लोग ड्रामा करके बैठेंगे, फिर वो लोग ये पोएम सेकंड चैप्टर ये
जब तक वो ड्रामा करेंगे हम लोग चैप्टर खत्म करेंगे.
जब तक हमारा ये होगा.
सी ड्रामा इज बिग, वो जूलियस सीजर बड़ा है.
हाँ,
एक लेक्चर में ये मुश्किल लगता है. So I think it's better we take up one more poem and one more chapter, then we can do drama. बहुत बड़ा है. देखा ना?
पीछे था. ड्रामा बड़ा ही होता है.
बहुत बड़ा है वही. So we take this only, Speckletide and that Gilded Monuments one. Drama na, I think we need at least 2 to 3 classes. One की one.
ये 1.5 घंटे का हो गया.
पर 3 घंटे का ड्रामा होता है.
हाँ, maybe 2 lectures.
मैम अगली बार को छुट्टी दे दो.
वो लोग तो आज सुबह आए थे.
वो तो 7 बजे आए.
वो लोग का 7:30 को था क्लास.
वही बोल रही हूँ. अगले तो उसको छुट्टी दे दो. हम आएंगे.
7:30 को.
7 से 11.
This is better, no?
No, this is better.
आराम से तो उठ सकते हो.
हाँ तो जैसे कि वो पूरा भी खाते ही नहीं हो. सुबह सुबह.
एक दिन तो सोने.
एक दिन सोने को. संडे. संडे को.
टेस्ट.
1 बजे होता है.
They had a class in CBSE. Movie last time देखा ना. Today we'll do from the book. Then then we can see the movie.